Welcome to the Friends in Film podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to give you insights into succeeding in the film industry that you will not hear about anywhere. Not in film school, not online, not even from the people on film sets. I teach you the art of building a career in a connection-based business. You've been through the awareness phase, you've been through the fascination phase, maybe you went to film school, but now it's time for the implementation phase, and that's what this is all about. Having an extraordinary successful career in the professional film industry.
Because sometimes you expect a lot from yourself, and that expectation doesn't match with your current situation. And that actually make you feel I'm in the wrong path, or I'm lost, or I don't know where I am or what I'm doing. But having a mentor like you to light up to your past to say, hey, you're on the right path. This is part of this path. This is the step to get to the crew. And I've done a lot of different stuff. I've been in different industry, and every industry I entered after like couple months, they like to promote me, and they say, oh, you're very smart, you're this, you're that. So technically what feedback I get from outside of myself always put the expectation so high about myself. But I didn't have that much of self-confidence to move. I would keep saying, no, you guys don't know who I am, you guys don't know, my English is not perfect. Or like, I don't know how to deal with this or that. So all of those actually would put my thought to the point that you don't know me well. I know myself better than you, and I'm not ready for that.
I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. That's it. I'm not ready for that. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so I want to just make a distinction really quick here. So there's confidence that comes from looking at our past. That's like, oh yeah, I can do all this. And people tell me that. So there's confidence. I know I can do it because I did it in the past. And I know I can do it because all these people tell me to do it. But then there's self-confidence, which is generated from within. It's how you are thinking to yourself as you're thinking. So self-confidence comes from the ability to feel any emotion at any time. That's where self-confidence comes from. It's like, okay, oh yeah, I can do that because I can feel fear. I'm willing to feel fear. I'm willing to feel rejection. I'm willing to feel whatever emotion I'm going to feel from if I don't hit the mark. That's where self-confidence comes from. So this is what you're seeing now. Now you're like, okay, now I'm willing to feel any emotion. I'm willing to feel fear. I'm willing to feel failure. So I'm willing to, now I've got the key on my self-confidence. And you get it, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, amazing.
Yes.
And when you're thinking, I'm not ready for that, then when you thought that thought, how did you feel?
So, it hold me back, because then I think about all of those mistakes that a lot of people make. And that is, I need to educate myself more, or I need to watch 150 movie a month to be able to do this and that, or I need to do this and that. Like, I would keep making homework for myself, but not doing the actual work.
Yeah. Making homework. Yeah. And you know what also? Making hurdles for yourself. You're like, I can't do that until I do all these other things. But it's coming from, if that's coming from the thought, I'm not ready for that, then you're going to make hurdles for yourself that you're not going to even want to get over because I'm not ready for it. So you create a cycle there. It's amazing.
It's a cycle. It's keep you in the loop. And so that's why right now that I was like saying that I'm so proud, because finally after years, I was able to step out of this cycle and be able to stand on top of this cycle and look on my cycle and say, hey, this is the step that is keep putting you around. And these are the parts you need to work on. You don't need to do more homework. You don't need to more study. You need to do some stuff, because this is this is how you're gonna learn more.
Yeah.
And another thing, it's like I don't want to be a doctor. Like, like if someone want to be a doctor, yes, you have to study more. But film industry, it's about what you can do, what you are capable to do.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So what you do is you go out there and you build your capabilities, and then you increase your capacity. You meet a bunch of people and they're like, she's awesome. And then they think of you and they hire you with all these people. Connection base. That's what it is. Yeah. And so therefore you remove the hurdles. You remove the hurdles because you realize that that's just like, basically you're like, hey, whether it's true or not, it's not going to help me. It does not serve me. Let's go through this model just really quick though, because I think a lot of us have it. I think that a lot of us are creating hurdles for ourselves. Now where does that go? The hurdles. So circumstance, thought, feeling, action, result. And it goes this way. Our thoughts create our results. And the action of creating hurdles for ourselves, oh, I got to educate that thing. I've got to meet these people. I got to go to that film festival first. I've got to take that class first so that I'm better. I got to take that acting class and get better so that I make sure that I'm going to be successful. So creating hurdles is action line, right? Creating hurdles. So this is an action. And when you create hurdles, it creates a result for sure where we don't get anywhere. But what is the feeling that's making us create hurdles for ourselves? Go ahead.
I mean, for me, it was actually not be successful.
Disbelief. It was disbelief.
It's disbelief. Yeah. It could be like exactly disbelief.
So disbelief would make us create hurdles. It would make us see things not working out. It would make us judge ourselves. Big one. Judge ourselves. Disbelief will make us catastrophize, where we keep seeing the worst outcomes. Like, I could spend the next 10 years and I can go broke trying to pursue this thing. So catastrophize. Okay, so that's enough stuff. And why do we feel disbelief that would make us create hurdles? Why? What's the thought?
I'm not good enough. I need to be better. Or like I have these failure in the past, or like whatever it's in the past, whatever it's before this moment.
Yeah. And the one that you gave us before, what I love, I'm not ready for this, that was the one you gave. I'm not ready for this. And there was one you just said, but I can't remember what it was. But I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. Seems like an innocent little thought, right? It's like, and if you ask like your family, they'll be like, yeah, you're not ready for that. Or if you ask your friends, you're like, yeah, I can see how you're not really ready for that. I mean, and then if you look out in the world and you look in your past, you're like, yep, see, if I was ready for it, I would have had it already. So you can really convince yourself that this is true. But it's a thought that got stuck in your brain that was a quick synapses that's just like boom, boom, boom. It's just like, I'm not ready for this. So whatever happens, I can help somebody with a job. I can help somebody in something that's not that important to me. But film, where I could mess up and that could really affect my future, I want to make sure I do that right. So I'm not ready for this. And the circumstances, the film industry. Because there's a big film, and this is factual, this is non-emotional, there's a film industry out there, and we're thinking, I'm not ready for this. And then what that does is it makes us feel disbelief, because our thoughts create our feelings. And our feelings are how we show up in the world. They impact directly our actions, our behaviors. They impact what we do, and they also impact what we don't do. Because if we feel disbelief, then we're not just going out there meeting people. We're not believing in ourselves. We're not creating self-confidence. And what we are doing is we're catastrophizing and we're judging ourselves and we're seeing it not working and we're creating hurdles and taking more classes. And maybe we might even be getting into debt. We might be wasting time on jobs that are related somehow that we hope is going to somehow. So we're also fantasizing. We're fantasizing that stuff is going to lead into it. We know that we're not meeting the right people. We know we're wasting our time. We just can't get out of it because we believe, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for us creates the result of we make ourselves not ready. That's the result that we create in the world. We make ourselves not ready. Now we think that that there's a film industry out there, and we just feel disbelief. Like, hey, you know, the big business out there, and I don't know. I just feel mostly, I'm not like, oh, excited, I can't wait to get it. Mostly I'm feeling disbelief about it. But we're feeling disbelief because we're thinking, I'm not ready for this.
I'm not ready.
That's why we feel disbelief, not because of the film industry. And we can see that if we have a film industry out there that there's shoots, there's events, there's people, it's happening right now, it's happening, and we think I'm not ready for this, then we create disbelief, then we create hurdles, we see it not working, we judge ourselves, and then we make ourselves not ready. Can you see how this would create this experience for yourself? Yes. We can choose our thoughts. When you get that, everything changes. Because you're like, if I can choose my thoughts, I can choose to think instead, I'm not ready for this. I can choose to think, I'm ready for this. All of my life I've been ready for this. I can choose that thought. I can practice that thought. And I create those new synapses in my brain where all the evidence now that I'm finding out there tells me I'm ready for this, which makes me feel excited, empowered. And then from there, I dive in. I take action. I do everything Janet says. I don't think too much about it. I encourage myself and believe that everything I'm doing is for me. Life is happening for me. I stop beating myself up. I stop judging myself. And the result that I create from I'm ready for this is I make myself ready. I welcome in everything. And I'm not even surprised when it all starts coming in because I thought it would. That's because I thought I was ready for this. Thank you. So good, Tina. If you are ready to work in the film industry and you want to now take your career to that next level, go to friendsinfilm.com/join and you can sign up for our mini course. You can learn our implementation system, and then you can even take it all the way by doing our flagship program, the Into the Industry program. It all starts with friendsinfilm.com/join. See you there.